wanted to get rid of Powell, Trump was going to need to demonstrate cause, not just his policy frustrations.
Jay Powell back on Capitol Hill today in front of the Senate Finance Committee.
That alleged cause would emerge at a routine hearing before Congress in June.
Good morning. Thank you all for being here. Thank you, Chair Powell, for joining us today for such an
Twice a year, Chair Powell goes in front of lawmakers on the Hill to talk about the Fed and answer questions about the economy. But at the June hearing, things took a bit of a turn.
During this time of hardship, the Fed has spent billions on lavish renovations to its D.C. offices.
Senator Tim Scott, one of President Trump's close allies, led the attack.
Tim Scott starts asking these questions about the renovation of Fed headquarters.
We're talking about rooftop terraces, custom elevators that open into VIP dining rooms, white marble finishes, and even a private art collection.
The Federal Reserve headquarters was built in the 30s. It's almost 100 years old. The Fed had long been pushing this project to overhaul the building.
It was this massive, sprawling project that was running $700 million over budget. It becomes clear that one of the main lines of questioning for these lawmakers is going to be about these renovations.
Would you take a few minutes, please, and explain what's going on with the value of that building and why the costs seem to be so exorbitant?
I came to understand how badly the Eccles building really needed a serious renovation. It never had one. It was not really safe.
I think he bristled at the idea that the Fed was embarking on this absolutely extravagant undertaking.
There are no special elevators. They're old elevators that have been there. There are no new water features. There's no beehives, and there's no roof terrace gardens.
Later in the hearing, Senator Scott cranked up the pressure.
Page 129 of the final plans reflected rooftop garden terraces. The page 127 and 129 were where we found the ornate water features and final plans. The new elevators that dropped board members off at the VIP dining suite was page 37 of the final plans.
Some of those are just flatly misleading. The idea of elevators, it's the same elevator. It's been there since the building was built. So that's a mischaracterization. And some of those are no longer in the plans.
It was not in and of itself inappropriate for Congress to ask the Fed how much it was spending on renovations. That being said, this was coming at a time when there were a lot of reasons to worry about the Federal Reserve's independence.
I could be wrong without any question, but I don't want to be misled. That's different.
Other allies of the president made the case on Fox Business.
I think there needs to be an investigation. I think that maybe he lied to Congress. I think things are going to get a lot worse for Jerome Powell, and it'd just be better off if he resigned.
So at this time, we see another Trump administration official get into the fight, and that's Bill Pulte, who's the head of a rather obscure financial agency in D.C. called the Federal Housing Finance Agency.
We're just scratching the surface as to what Chairman Powell's been up to, and it's very concerning.
Bill Pulte is acting like the attack dog here. This guy kind of just comes in off the sidelines and starts heckling on a topic that really has no interaction with his agency.
And that was the moment where it became quite clear that they were trying to build some kind of case against Powell.
Is there any evidence that Powell tried to mislead or did mislead Congress?
No, there's no evidence that Powell tried to mislead Congress, and lawmakers on the committee that he spoke to at that hearing have said as much.
To Neil Kashkari at the Fed, it was clear what it was all about.
I wasn't surprised because there had been so much chatter from different administration officials about trying to find some way to say that he has given them cause for the president to remove him.
Do you really think that the line of questioning was sort of a pretext in order to get him out?
Oh, of course. I mean, at this point, having now seen the pattern over and over again, they don't like our monetary policy. And so how do you change us from focusing on our dual mandate goals and focusing on data and analysis? You change the people who are doing the work.
Today, the president has decided to take a tour of the Federal Reserve headquarters. And it comes as there's mounting criticism and scrutiny of Fed Chair Powell.
Well, thank you very much, everybody. And it feels very good, actually, to be back on a construction site.
A month after Powell's testimony, President Trump made a surprise visit to Fed headquarters.
I watched it live. I happened to have it on in my office when it happened live.
I just want to see one thing happen, very simple. Interest rates have to come down.
And this was like, I don't even know how to describe it. It was so crazy. This was just such a kind of shocking turn of events. Presidents don't visit the Fed. That is like not a common thing whatsoever. And so the circumstances were already quite bizarre.
And we're with the chairman, as you know. Chairman, come on over. And we're just taking a look at what's happening.
This was the first time that we had seen these two kind of in the same camera frame since Trump appointed him as chair all those years ago. And Trump has said a lot of insulting things about Powell. He's been calling him a ton of personal insults. And here they were kind of going toe-to-toe about the costs of a building.
Do you expect any more additional cost overruns?
Don't expect them. We're ready for them. But
it was great theater, I must say. And I remember watching Chair Powell's face.
It looks like it's about $3.1 billion. It went up a little bit, or a lot.
And you had several instances where the president would say something, and Chair Powell would go like this.
I'm not aware of that.
Yeah, it just came out.
Yeah, I haven't heard that from anybody at the Fed.
Yeah, it just came out.
Our notes had it about 3.1 as well.
3.1,
3.2.
This came from us?
Yes.
I mean, it was things that, for me, were unthinkable. Even when President Nixon attacked the Fed chair, it was done behind closed doors. But this was a conflict right there, and it was very clear what the president was doing. He was embarrassing Chair Powell.
I don't know who does that.
You're including the Martin renovation. You just added
our entire capital.
Yeah, you just added in a third building. Is what that is. That's a third building.
Well, no, but it's a building that's being built.
No, it was built 5 years ago. We finished Martin 5 years ago.
It's part of the overall work.
But it's not new.
Trump, whether, implicitly or explicitly, was inflating how bad of a problem it was. I don't think that we have seen Trump being fact-checked by another member of the broader government. And I think that is what made this interaction just so extraordinary.
As a real estate developer, what would you do with a project manager who would be over budget?
Generally speaking, what would I do? I'd fire him.
President, are there things the chairman can say to you today that would make you back off some of the earlier criticism?
Well, I'd love him to lower interest rates, but other than that, what can I tell you?